Hi everybody, it is me, village idiot Ian C. Weber. This is my mom. Say hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
She's learning audio production. She's gonna become the next Martin Garrix. That was all I needed, thank you. Ah, hot. Ow. Ow. Alright, so the first thing we're gonna do is clear off our desk because we're a slob with no regard for nice things. So you may notice that I'm wearing a different shirt right now. That's because of a little something I like to call...
I recorded this on a different day.
Just a disclaimer, I'm not sponsored by Kakos and Reaper in any way, though if they want to sponsor me, they should, because I am in crippling student debt. I just really like the software and I've been using it for a long time. So you're going to start by opening up whatever your browser of choice is. I use Firefox because I'm cool. And you're going to navigate to REAPER.fm. Right. You'll be presented with a big friendly window that looks like this. Go ahead and click Download Reaper. So, cool things about Reaper, the reason I like it, it costs $60, so I can afford it. Yeah, so you go to the download page, and you'll be greeted with these options. I'm on Mac, so I'm going to download OS X 64-bit, because I'm on a newer system. If you're on Windows, that's okay too. God loves all his children. If you're on Linux, you probably don't need this tutorial. If you don't know what your system is, if you're on a Windows machine that was made after, like, 2012, you're probably on a 64-bit system. If you're on a Mac, go ahead and click the little apple, About This Mac, and it'll tell you right there. No, it won't. Well, most likely, if you're on a newer system, you're on 64-bit. Oh, a word of something. If you're on Catalina, which is the newest version of macOS, make sure to download the Catalina-specific download, because Apple introduced a really cool new feature in Catalina, which is that everything breaks. So go ahead and download that one if you're on the newest version. To find out if you're running macOS Catalina, go ahead and click this little apple, click About This Mac, and it'll tell you right there, macOS. In my case, I'm running Mojave, which is the version right before. The other way you can tell if you're running Catalina is your background. If your background is not a sand dune and is instead that island that kind of looks like the last scene of Star Wars Episode 7, you know the one, then you're running Catalina. Or you just have a cool similar wallpaper. So go ahead and click Download, and you'll be prompted with this. Go ahead and click OK, and wait for it to download. While you're doing that, go let the dog in. This is the window you'll be prompted with when your download is done. This is just a small correction. There's a chance that you might not have been prompted with that window when you finish downloading the file, in which case you need to go and open it manually. In Firefox, this can be accomplished by clicking the Downloads button up here, and when it's done downloading, you can just click on the file right there. In Chrome, you'll see the file in a bar in the bottom when you start downloading it. If you're not using either one of those web browsers, you can most likely open your downloads by pressing Command-J or Control-J on Windows, and then it'll be good. So go ahead and click Agree. I've never read this thing. I'm sure it's great. And this will happen. And I already have Reaper installed, so it's probably not going to let me go through the whole installation. But what you'll do on Mac is you'll select both of these by clicking and dragging that little rectangle, and then just drag those into your applications folder. You should be all set at that point. If you're not all set, though, it might not let you install applications that aren't from the Mac App Store. If that's an issue, and again, this is all Mac specific, if you're on Windows, that probably won't be an issue unless you're on Windows 10S, in which case I'm really sorry for you. So click your little settings down here, go to security and privacy, and click this little lock to make changes, and you want to allow, it'll prompt you for your password, which I'm not gonna bother with right now. Click this little button to allow for App Store unidentified developers. When you're done, just relock it. Then you should be all good to install this. Hi everybody, my lighting changed because I changed my lighting. Some info on Reaper pricing. There's a common misconception that Reaper is free software. It's not, technically. You're allowed to evaluate it for 60 days before you're supposed to pay, at which point the software is only $60 for most users. It's more if you're a high-end recording studio, which anyone watching this video is probably not. After the 60 days is up, exactly nothing happens. Kakos, the developer, doesn't cripple the software in any way, so you can still use it normally even without paying. That being said, that violates the license agreement, and the morality police will be informed of your heinous crimes and will arrive at your door shortly. So just buy the software, it's easier that way. A copy of that section of the license agreement about pricing and things can be found in the description of this video. The description is the part underneath it, with all the text. If you scroll down from the video, it's like in there. You might have to click a little arrow to see it. But Ian, you might tragically wail, what if I don't have $60? If that's the case, there are loads of alternative options. Audacity, GarageBand, LMMS, Cakewalk, your dad's 8-track tape recorder. Maybe I'll do a future video on some basics and other cheaper software. As of recording this video, Kakos is offering an extended free license on account of the world is ending, so go ahead and follow the instructions on their website to do that. I will record that and figure out how to do that. Go to reaper.fm and you scroll up. Would you look at that? Download a temporary Reaper license. Yes, please. Then you get presented with this screen, and every time I see it I think it's an error message, but it's not. This is your license. So to get this license into Reaper, select everything between where it says cut, then copy it by pressing Command-C, or on Windows, Control-C, and then run Reaper, and it should prompt you to import that license. It's good stuff. Great, so once that's done, go ahead and quit your browser. We're done with that. And let's launch Reaper. In Windows, you can find that by going to Start. I don't have footage of a Windows. Alexa, remind me in 20 minutes to get B-roll footage of a Windows computer.
Okay, I'll remind you in 20 minutes.
Nice. You're gonna go down to Start over here and scroll all the way down to the letter R, and it'll be right there. Good job. And on Mac, click on your little launch pad here to bring up all of your icons and scroll through them by swiping with 2 fingers left or right on your computer's trackpad. And look, there it is. Just click on it. Alright, if you've made it this far, congratulations! Reaper is now installed on your system. Now, let's look at what everything is. This is a record button. It records. This is a play button. It plays. This is the back button. It goes back to the start of the project. This is the loop button. You get the idea. This is your arrangement view. This is where you'll see all the items in your project. This is your mixer view. This is where you'll see all the tracks or channel strips, basically the same thing in this program, in your project. This over here is the track control panel, or TCP. It's blank right now because we don't have any tracks. For our purposes, it's basically the same thing as the mixer. There are some subtle differences which we'll get into later. Up here is a bunch of buttons for commonly used features. We can change those if we want. I didn't, but you can. The important ones for our purposes are this one, this one, this one, these two, and this one. Also this one, sometimes. In the next video, we'll get into creating our first project in Reaper, as well as recording, saving, playing, and exporting. Congratulations! Have a tall glass of milk to celebrate. It will strengthen your bones and fortify your mind as we delve into the magical world of home audio production. In the next video, we'll get...